Curtis Martinez's run-in with Kansas Highway Patrol started when he says a trooper pulled him over after another car was speeding by. That otherwise typical traffic stop led to a ticket for missing registration stickers.
He said, okay, well, you're free to leave. So I said, okay, put the car in drive. I turn around, and then midway through my turn, he walks up to the car again and says, hey, before you leave, you mind if I ask you a question?
Curtis, like many of us would, said yes.
He said, do you have any drugs or guns in your car? I told him I don't have any drugs or guns in this car. You know, like I said, I'm just on my way to the airport to pick up my truck. And he said, well, you don't mind if I take a look in your car then? I said, yes, I do mind if you take a look in my car. I don't have time for that. And then he said, well, go ahead and pull over, you're being detained.
Curtis and his brother then had to wait for a Riley Police Department dog to show up and spent another half an hour once the dog got there while it and two officers searched his car. That's when he started recording on his own cell phone.
I already got ticketed, and then he released me, and then he stopped me last minute and said, can I ask you a question?
That "let me ask you a question" is the key to what the ACLU says are troopers holding drivers for longer than they're allowed to. The courts have said when troopers tell drivers they're free to go, the traffic stop is over. But then troopers do what the ACLU calls the Kansas two-step, taking a few steps away, but then turning back around to re-engage with the driver. Since that original stop is over, this second interaction is voluntary, giving troopers a little bit more leeway to try to get a driver to consent to a search of the car. Drivers can leave at this point, but many don't know that, or they simply don't want to be rude.
Of course, that's a fallacy. Nobody feels like they can ignore a police officer and just drive away or walk away from a police officer that's asking, can I talk to you?
Which is exactly what happened to Curtis. Criminal defense attorney Jay Norton says the rules around these stops are murky, and since Kansas is sandwiched between Colorado and Missouri, which both have recreational marijuana, Norton says officers know there's a decent chance they'll find something that violates Kansas law if they can search.
They're fishing, and the idea is to catch fish. And, you know, now they've got good bait.
Fox 4 tried to figure out if these stops really are fishing expeditions, so we filed a series of public records requests looking for body camera footage related to Curtis's stop, trying to figure out what happened from start to finish. Kansas Highway Patrol, who pulled him over, and the Riley County Police Department, who sent the canine officer, have told Fox 4 it won't release that footage, even though the ticket that Curtis got was dismissed. They also say the video or even just their training materials would give up what they call confidential investigative techniques or procedures that are not known to the general public. But this is what any one of us might experience in person or drive by right on the side of the road.
I don't believe that law enforcement techniques and practices should be secret, that we all are at the whim of these secret tactics by the police, and you know, the game that they're playing, we're not allowed to know the rules.
Right now, the ACLU is in court representing other drivers who were held by troopers when they shouldn't have been. Josh Pearson is a senior staff attorney at the ACLU. He tells us they're trying to get money for their clients, but also they're trying to get troopers to stop this practice.
If you are committing a crime, they can just arrest you. This is about people who they cannot arrest, who there is no probable cause for, and they are hoping to find it.
Curtis was eventually allowed to leave without any more tickets, and he says he's exploring his own legal options now. But that can be expensive and time-consuming, leaving him feeling powerless, just like when he was stuck on the side of the road.
You feel like you're an ant, you know, standing next to a human.
Now, the Highway Patrol wouldn't answer our questions about this issue because they say it's an ongoing legal case. But court documents filed in that case that their lawyers have submitted to the court have claimed that these kind of actions are within a trooper's normal behavior while they're doing their job. Some judges haven't always agreed with that explanation, though.